The rain had stopped an hour ago, but the city lights still shimmered on the wet asphalt as Amelia Hartwell stepped out of the sleek black SUV, adjusting her long beige coat. She looked back at the car where her 7-year-old twins, Lily and Leo, sat waiting with bubbly excitement, their faces pressed against the tinted windows. A dinner out, just the three of them, had become their Friday ritual ever since Amelia finalized the divorce. "Come on, my loves," she said, opening the door. Leo hopped out first, holding a small action figure. Lily followed, wearing her favorite lavender dress, her curls bouncing. They each grabbed one of their mother's hands, and together they walked toward La Meridia, a warm-lit Italian restaurant with floor-length windows. It was supposed to be a peaceful evening, a break, a breath, but the world loved disrupting Amelia Hartwell's peace. Inside, the restaurant buzzed with the hum of dinner conversations, clinking glasses and soft violin music playing from hidden speakers. The maitre d' recognized Amelia instantly, offering a bow of respect. It wasn't just because she was a millionaire, though the newspapers loved flaunting that title. It was because she often donated to the staff's community fund and treated everyone as though they mattered. "This way, Miss Hartwell." The twins slid into the booth, and Amelia removed her coat, exhaling slowly. A small smile tugged at her lips as she watched them debate over spaghetti versus lasagna. Their innocence was her sanctuary. She was reading the menu. She always pretended to read it, though she ordered the same grilled salmon every time. When she felt a strange shift in the air, a familiar presence, a shadow from another life, her fingers froze, her breath stalled, her heart clenched in warning. But she slowly lifted her gaze. Across the restaurant near the bar stood Ethan Roberts, her ex-husband. Her jaw tightened, but she immediately looked away, pulling herself back into the safety of the moment. She reached for her water glass, trying to steady her hand. But Leo had already noticed. "Mom," he whispered loudly, tugging her sleeve. "Daddy's here." Lily peeked too. "Is he eating with someone?" Amelia didn't want to look, but the twins' eyes were glued to Ethan, so she forced herself to turn. And there he was. BR tall, confident, wearing a suit that didn't match his bank balance, because unlike her, he lived beyond his income. She could tell from the shine of his shoes and the way he held his chin that he was trying to impress someone. And then she saw her. A younger woman, maybe mid-20s, laughing at something Ethan said, leaning in a little too close. Amelia recognized that type instantly. Someone who believed Ethan's charm long before she discovered the temper behind it. Someone who believed every promise before she saw how easily he broke them. He hadn't seen Amelia yet, but fate wasn't that kind. Ethan turned, and their eyes collided. His smile vanished, his posture stiffened, his jaw twitched. Then he began walking toward them. Lily clutched Amelia's arm. Leo straightened in the seat. Ethan stopped at their table. "Well," he said, voice coated with forced warmth, "isn't this something?" Amelia kept her tone even. "Hello, Ethan. You could have told me you were taking them out tonight. It's my weekend." She didn't raise her voice. She never needed to. His eyes flicked to the twins. "Hi, kiddos." Lily offered a small wave. Leo hugged the action figure tighter. "You two having fun with Mommy?" Ethan asked. "Yes," Lily said softly. "Good," he replied, though his eyes were firmly on Amelia now. "You seem, well..." She didn't respond. She didn't need to. Ethan stepped a little closer. "Actually, I was hoping we could talk." Lily tensed. Leo's foot nudged Amelia under the table, his way of asking if everything was okay. "Not right now," she said. "Please, the kids should enjoy their dinner." His jaw twitched again. "This will just take a minute." "No, Ethan, it won't," he scoffed, still stubborn as ever. Amelia lifted her chin, still disrespectful as ever. The tension was thick enough to slice. The younger woman at Ethan's table finally noticed the scene. She tilted her head, confused but curious. Ethan lowered his voice and leaned closer. "You look good, Mia. Don't call me that." "Still angry?" he asked. "No," she replied. "Just done. If he had left then, everything would have been fine." But Ethan never did know when to stop. He looked at the twins, voice coated in bitterness. "I hope you're not turning them against me." "Don't," she said, warning in her voice. "Not here, not in front of them." He chuckled under his breath. "You think you're a saint? You think being rich means you can replace me?" Her eyes narrowed. "No one can replace what you chose to abandon." The restaurant wasn't silent, but their corner felt like it was. Ethan leaned in even closer, anger swirling in his eyes. "You know what, Amelia? I think we should rediscuss custody." Leo suddenly pushed back from the table, startling everyone. "Stop yelling at Mommy." Ethan blinked. "I'm not yelling. You are," Lily whispered, tears filling her eyes. "Please stop." Amelia pulled them both close, one arm around each child, her protective instinct roaring like thunder. "Ethan," she said quietly but firmly, "walk away." He hesitated, then he smirked, and he said the one sentence that would push Amelia past every limit she had so carefully rebuilt. "You can buy them toys and dinners, but you'll never be enough for them." Amelia slowly stood. She placed her hands on the table, steadying herself, steadying the rage that tried to claw its way out. "Leave," she said, "now," but Ethan didn't leave. He did something worse. He grabbed Leo's arm, not roughly but firmly, possessively, like he still had the right. The twins gasped. Amelia's heart froze, every nerve in her body ignited. "Let go of him," she whispered. Ethan tightened his grip. "He's my son, too." For every inch of her being snapped, and she did the one thing she had promised herself she would never do again. She reached out, and slapped Ethan's hand away with a sharp, echoing crack. Leo stumbled back into the seat, unharmed, but Ethan stepped away as though struck by lightning. The restaurant went silent this time, truly silent. Eyes turned, forks froze, conversations died mid-sentence. Ethan stared at her, stunned, offended, humiliated. "How dare you?" "I said," Amelia interrupted, voice low, trembling with fury and fear, "don't touch my children." The younger woman approached cautiously. "Ethan, maybe let's sit down." But he wasn't listening. He was staring at Amelia like she had crossed some invisible line drawn in his mind. And maybe she had, but she would cross it again, and again, and again. For her children. Suddenly aware of the staring crowd, Ethan straightened his jacket and forced a cold smile. "This isn't over." It is," she said. "Completely." He glared one last time, turned sharply, and walked back to his table. The young woman whispered something worriedly, but he didn't respond. Amelia slowly sat back down, holding her twins close, kissing their heads. "It's okay," she whispered. "I'm here. I won't let anything happen to you." They pressed against her, small bodies shaking. And as she held them, trying to steady their trembling hands, trying to regain her own breath, she didn't notice the restaurant manager discreetly calling security. She didn't notice the younger woman get up and walk out of the restaurant with tears in her eyes. And she didn't notice Ethan watching from the doorway as he left, his face dark with something dangerous. But she felt it, somewhere deep in her gut. This wasn't the end. His eyes, before he walked out, had carried a promise of trouble, and a past she thought she had escaped, was about to claw its way back into her carefully rebuilt world. The car ride home was quiet, in a way that made Amelia uneasy. The twins sat in the back seat, their small hands linked together. Lily stared out the window, her reflection faint against the glass, while Leo kept glancing at the passing streetlights like each one might distract him from what happened. Amelia gripped the steering wheel tighter than necessary, replaying the moment Ethan grabbed Leo's arm. Her blood heated every time she thought about it, every time she heard the echo of the slap she delivered, every time she saw the fear in her children's eyes. She pulled into the gated driveway of their two-story home. The motion sensor lights flicked on, illuminating the familiar surroundings. Safety, a sanctuary she worked tirelessly to build. "Mom?" Leo asked, unbuckling his seatbelt slowly. "Yes, sweetheart. Are you mad at Daddy?" Amelia sighed, turning in her seat. "I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at Lily. And I'm not mad at myself." She reached back and brushed Leo's hair gently. "I'm upset about how he behaved, but you didn't do anything wrong." Lily leaned forward. "Is he going to take us away?" The question pierced Amelia so deeply she almost lost her breath. "No," she whispered. "No one is taking you anywhere. You're safe with me." They nodded, trusting her fully, and the sight of their faith made her heart ache with both love and sorrow. Inside the house, the twins changed into their pajamas and crawled into Amelia's bed. They didn't want to sleep alone tonight, and she didn't blame them. She lay between them, an arm around each child, listening to their breaths slowly fall into rhythm. But she couldn't sleep, Not when she could still feel Ethan's gaze. Dark, furious, vengeful. The kind of look he used to give her whenever she dared to stand up for herself during the marriage. A look that promised retaliation. She stayed awake long after the twins drifted into peaceful dreams. The house was silent, but something inside her stirred restlessly. At 1 a.m., she heard her phone buzz on the nightstand. A single message. Unknown number. But she knew exactly who it was from. "We're not done. You crossed a line tonight. You'll regret it." Amelia deleted the message immediately. She didn't want the twins ever seeing his words. She placed the phone face down, exhaled shakily, and closed her eyes, knowing tomorrow would bring challenges she wasn't ready for. But she would face them anyway. Morning light filtered into the room as Lily stretched, her curls covering half of Amelia's face. "Morning, Mommy?" "Morning, sweetheart." Leo's eyes blinked open next. He sat up, rubbed his face, then leaned against Amelia's shoulder. "Can we have pancakes?" A small smile tugged at her lips. "Of course." They went downstairs, the house still carrying the warmth of family. Amelia cooked while the twins argued over which cartoon character made the best pancakes. For a moment, she let herself sink into the comfort of domestic noise. She almost forgot about the night before, until the doorbell rang. Her heart dropped. Bar visitors weren't common this early. She wiped her hands on a towel and peeked through the side window. Her stomach tightened. Ethan. He stood outside, hands stuffed in his pockets, wearing a false expression of calm, a mask, one she had learned to recognize and fear long ago. "Kids," she called gently, "stay in the kitchen." They didn't ask why. They heard the warning in her voice. Amelia cracked the front door open but kept the chain locked. "What do you want?" He smirked, pretending the metal chain didn't insult him. "We need to talk." "No, we don't." "You embarrass me," he hissed, still forcing the smile. "In front of my date." "In front of everyone." "You touched Leo. Don't pretend you were the victim." His smile faltered. "I want more time with my children." "You have a schedule. Follow it." "I'm their father." Then act like one." The mask shattered. Ethan leaned closer, voice dropping low. "You think your money gives? You power? You think running off with your fancy house and your fancy car means you can make all the rules?" "I built this life," she snapped, "and I'm entitled to be part of it. This life doesn't belong to you," she said. His eyes darkened. "We'll see." He turned and walked away, shoving his hands into his pockets. For a second, Amelia thought that was it. He'd leave, brood somewhere, maybe send another awful message. But he stopped halfway to his car. And without turning, he said, "You made a mistake last night." The hair on her arms rose. "We'll talk soon," he added, and drove off. The twins peeked from the kitchen doorway once he was gone. Lily looked frightened. Leo looked angry. "Was Daddy yelling?" Leo asked. Amelia knelt in front of them. "He shouldn't have come here like that. But I promise you're safe." Lily leaned into her. "I love you, Mommy. I love you both," she whispered, hugging them tightly. She called her lawyer that afternoon. "We need to revisit the custody agreement," Amelia said firmly. "Of course," Miss Patel responded. "Did something happen?" Amelia explained the restaurant incident, Ethan's messages, the unannounced visit. Miss Patel listened and sighed. "This isn't the first time he's tried to intimidate you." "No," Amelia whispered. "Document everything," the lawyer advised. And Amelia, "Be prepared. He may try something drastic." Amelia closed her eyes. "I know." Later that evening, she took the twins to the park. She watched them laugh on the swings, pushing each other, playing tag on the grassy field. Their joy eased the tension in her chest, until she noticed someone watching them from a distance. A figure leaning against a lamppost. Arms crossed, still, unmoving. Her breath disappeared. Ethan. He didn't approach. He didn't shout. He didn't cause a scene. He just watched, like a silent threat. Amelia gathered the twins immediately. "We're going home." "But we just—" Leo began. "Now," she said, voice shaking. They didn't protest. Back in the car, she locked the doors and drove away. Her eyes flicked to the rearview mirror every few seconds, expecting his car behind them. But he wasn't following. He didn't need to follow. He wanted her to know he could appear any time. That night after the twins fell asleep, She sat on the edge of her bed and finally let the tears fall. Not because she felt weak, but because she felt cornered. But she wouldn't break. She had survived Ethan once. She could survive him again. 2 days passed. 2 days of silence. 2 days of paranoia settling deeper into her bones. Then on Wednesday morning, the doorbell rang again. Her heart jumped. But when she opened the door, this time without the chain, she found not Ethan, but a woman in a navy blue blouse holding a folder. Amelia Hartwell, yes? I'm Sandra Hayes, Child Protective Services. The world tilted. I received a report, the woman continued gently, that your children may be in an unsafe environment. Amelia's breath stopped. That's a lie. We have to investigate every claim, Ms. Hayes explained. May I come in? Amelia swallowed hard but stepped aside. The twins were on the couch watching cartoons. They turned when the woman entered. Hello, Sandra said kindly. I just want to talk with your mom for a moment. The interview was brief but humiliating. Sandra asked if Amelia ever raised her voice, if she drank excessively, if she left the children alone, if she had bouts of anger. Every question felt like an accusation. When Sandra left, she gave a tight smile. I'm sure everything is fine, but I'll need to follow up next week. As soon as the door closed, Amelia collapsed onto the living room rug, shaking with fury. He had done this. Ethan had filed a false report. He knew exactly how to hurt her. Not through bruises, not through screaming, not through grabbing her arm like he used to, but through fear. Through the possibility of losing what she loved most. That night, Amelia finally broke her silence. She texted him, I know what you did. He replied instantly, Prove it. Her phone slipped from her hands as the weight of his words settled in. Ethan wasn't just trying to scare her, he was trying to take the twins, and she wasn't going to let him. Not now, not ever. Amelia stood, walked into the twins' room, and watched them sleep. Lily curled around her teddy bear, Leo sprawled across the blankets like a starfish. A quiet, fierce determination settled inside her. Ethan could play his games. He could file his reports. He could lurk in the shadows. But he underestimated her. She would fight, she would win, and she would protect her children at all costs. Outside, the wind blew softly against the windows, whispering a warning she had learned long ago. This wasn't over. Not even close.